YouTube. This is not Hot Ones. It's a show with hot questions and even hotter wings. A couple of months ago, I thought it'd be a good idea to put a request out for some questions, and you guys really came through. I got a whole bunch of questions that you guys asked, so I thought it would be a fun thing to go through the gamut of spicy wings, just like a Hot Ones episode. I selected these sauces based on what I had in my house. A few of these were gifted to me. I'm dreading this one. I've tasted this one before, but never in the context of a full tasting like this. So we're gonna get right into it. Now, I compiled all the questions that you guys asked. I haven't really looked at them in a couple months now. I'm gonna answer them as honestly as possible, and it's off the cuff. So sit back, relax, get yourself some hot wings, and let's do this. First question, explain the worst customer you've ever handled working in your dad's deli. I'm gonna go right in with, this is just Frank's Red Hot wing sauce. This is what you normally get at any pizzeria or diner. Barely any spice to that one. So I know I'm probably gonna be really regretting saying that toward the end of this. All right, worst customer I've ever dealt with in my dad's deli. That one's a pretty easy one. There was one time where I probably was in my mid-teens, probably between 14 and 17. And one time I was refilling the soda case in my dad's store, and some customer, I really could not stand the guy. He came up to me and I'm pretty sure he didn't touch me, but he kind of pointed to my belly area and he said, "Hey, it looks like you've been eating all the profits." A highly inappropriate thing to say to somebody, and I kind of gave him this glare. I got in trouble for giving him the glare, but this guy was definitely in the wrong. And if you disagree, I don't even want to hear from you. What would you tell the 16-year-old version of you? And for this one, we got Cholula, your standard Mexican hot sauce. That is a good hot sauce. If I could talk to the 16-year-old version of me, like Biff Tannen, Back to the Future, I would say in 25 years, everything that you think is cool is gonna be back in style. All the music, movies, clothes, everything that was cool in the 90s is back in 2020. So enjoy it now, and you'll be able to enjoy it again. Now, I don't remember who sent these questions in, so you'll have to excuse me. If you did, leave a comment below if one of these questions was left by you, because I completely forgot to do that, except for one that Metal Frog sent in. But if you left these questions, comment below and I'll give you a shout out in the next video. How would you describe your musical tastes? And for this one, we're going with Taco Bell fire sauce. I would have rather done this with Diablo sauce because it's a lot hotter. This is kind of, I'm gonna say on the weak side, but I think we're gonna work our way up here. So Taco Bell fire sauce up next. Very tomato-y. How do I describe my music taste? I'll basically listen to anything from hip-hop, heavy metal, rock, pop. The only thing I won't listen to is country, and just because it's not my genre. I guess I would skew toward the popular music side of things. I really think it's astounding to me to follow pop culture artists like people like Michael Jackson, Lady Gaga, Kanye West. The artistry, when you reach that level, to me is kind of more, that's kind of more what I'm into the music for. I don't really listen for a lot of like theory and all that kind of stuff. I just like to listen to songs that sound good. And pop songs are proven to sound good and engineered to sound good. So that's kind of where it comes from. But if I had to say like my favorite band, it's definitely Metallica. And that basically answers that question. So we're reaching the halfway point. Next up is the Instagram deep dive. And I had my friend Keith, Metal Frog, pick out a few pictures that he found on my Instagram, and I'll put them up here. and talk about them. I think there are 5 or 6 pictures, so let's get into it. And for this wing, we just used Sriracha, which on its own could be a pretty hot sauce. And actually right now I'm kind of starting to feel it. This first picture is an outfit I put together. I started with the shoes, and these are my Onitsuka Tiger Asics. And those are like my very first like sneakerhead sneaker. They're the Bruce Lee Game of Death sneaker, and I kind of based it around that. So this was a workout fit for one day. I had my kind of relaxed fit jeans. I put a yellow polo to kind of coordinate to that. I threw on, I had just gotten this Champion kind of varsity jacket. I threw that on. And then I had just won a Supreme beanie cap. So I threw that on as well. And funny thing about this picture, it was actually rated by Tony D2 Wild. He roasted me on it. And I'll put a link to that video here. And that's kind of the funny thing about this outfit. You're gonna wanna see what he says about me. He basically calls me old, which I'm old, okay? This next picture is Andrew WK mailed me a CD. I had won a contest on Twitter, and the message that he wrote on it is one of the most amazing things I've ever read. And this is one of, I would say, kind of a prized possession, just having that in the collection. And I've spoke about this on the channel before. It was one of my early videos last year when I relaunched the channel. And I will put a link to that here where I kind of dug this out of storage, and you can kind of hear a little bit more about the story there. This next one is a picture of me and Diamond Dallas Page, professional wrestler, at the DDP Yoga retreat. I was invited to give a cooking demo, and I cooked tiramisu. I made it gluten-free, cow dairy-free, and it was really amazing. And having that memory of me in a chef's jacket next to Diamond Dallas Page is probably one of the most amazing times of my life. Related to that, I've done cooking classes locally at a place called Different Drummers Kitchen, and this picture here is from one of the nights that me and my cousin Bobby did a pizza class. And this is us kind of just toasting with our pizzas and having a good time. And you know, my cousin Bobby is one of the greatest drummers on the planet. He makes amazing pizza, and you know, we had an amazing time teaching both nights that we taught this class. This one, I for Halloween a few years ago, right after we moved into the house, I had done a video with my friend John Jordan where I had dressed up like Guy Fieri, and I wanted to make the most over-the-top burger dish that I could. So I thought about making a skewered burger, and I'll put a link to that video if I can. If not, I'll drop it in the comments below. But this was an amazing video. Putting this together was amazing, and it was all to make donkey sauce. And this is the last one. This is probably the earliest recorded picture of me wearing an NWO shirt. Now, if you don't know, when I used to wear an NWO shirt every Friday at school after it had come out. So this is from my high school yearbook, and you can tell what's interesting about this is an early NWO shirt, and it doesn't actually say New World Order on the bottom of it. It's just the logo with NWO with the box on it. So that's that picture, and I'm pretty sure, it's hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure that hat is also a New World Order hat. So I don't think I have that hat anymore, and I definitely don't have the shirt, but I have other replica shirts. So that's that picture, and me giving the For Life hand gesture. If you hosted a TV talk show, who would be your first 2 guests? And for this one, we're gonna eat Los Calientes. This is a Hot Ones First We Feast sauce. That is a damn good sauce. Very sweet, very fruity. Not very hot. I probably should have placed it a little earlier in the pantheon here, but very good. So this question's easy. My first 2 guests on a talk show, if I ever got one, would be Andrew Dice Clay and Michael Wills Parisi. I used to listen to their podcast, and they're kind of a comedy duo. You know, Wheels is Dice's first best friend, And I used to listen to their podcast religiously a few years ago when they were doing Rolling with Dice and Wheels. And I've been following both of them, you know, on what they're doing in the last few years. And Wheels just launched a podcast, and I've talked about that in the past couple of videos, and I might even be on it. So that would be the first two people I would have on the show if I were hosting a talk show. What was the best cooking class you taught and why? This one's a really good question. And for that, this one we have Queen Majesty Red Habanero Black Coffee Hot Sauce. This one is another one that was gifted to me by Cassie. I think actually all these, with the exception of these two, were gifted for this past Christmas. Make sure we get a nice saucy amount of this. That one is pretty hot. The best cooking class I ever taught was probably the pizza class. And I would say it was probably the first pizza class. A couple of people I knew had come to that class, and it was kind of a fun time. One lady that didn't even know she was taking my class, who was there with a bunch of her friends for a bachelorette party. So that was kind of fun. I had known her at the time. She had no idea I was doing blogging on food and teaching cooking classes. It was just a surprise to see her. I had known her from the gym. So it was kind of like, hey, how you doing? I'm the instructor for the class. It was a really fun time. If you had 1 million subscribers, what kinds of videos would you be making? And for that, we're tasting this Hellfire Detroit, which is habanero sauce. It looks like it's honestly ground up habanero peppers. Grab a bite. That is really freaking hot. I haven't gone for water or almond milk yet, but we do have it on deck just in case we need it. And for these two, I have something else, a local product that I might have to dig into because I'm already getting really hot from this. So if I had 1 million subscribers, what would my videos, what would the channel look like? Honestly, I really am loving the content that I've been making on the channel here. So I would hope that I wouldn't really pander to the fact that I'd have that many followers. What I would think would be different would be kind of the production. Right now I'm filming, editing, and posting all the videos myself. I feel like the videos could be a little bit tighter in terms of production, in terms of sound levels, in terms of transitions, in terms of angles, and you know, all the lens stuff that I don't really know about, and I'm kind of winging it as I go. So that's the one thing I would find different. I'm dipping into this. That helped. What was the hardest thing about writing the Dairy X blog? Oh boy. And great, we have the bomb beyond insanity for this one. This is the one I've been dreading. Alright, here goes nothing. Wow. That one just lights up your entire taste buds. Oh, got the hiccups. See if water makes it worse. Crying a little bit. All right, hardest thing about writing the blog. Damn, that escalated quickly. Right back. This is Stuart's Happy Camper. hottest thing I've ever eaten. That helped. That is really painful. So I picked this ice cream because it has a higher butterfat content. So I figured it would cool things down. Guys, I'm shaking. Trying to compose myself to answer this. All right, hardest thing about writing the blog, and it doesn't go away. The hardest thing was being taken seriously. At the time when I was writing and at the popularity, Yelp was a pretty big thing, and a lot of the people writing reviews were kind of inexperienced Yelp people. Didn't really know much about the industry. I wasn't trying to be an expert. That wasn't the point. It was more to kind of bring a little bit of knowledge to people. Man, that's hot. Ooh, this is steak. So that people could understand enough about the restaurant industry to know what's normal and what they could expect. You could feel it moving too, is what's crazy about this. But the point was never to write reviews and act like I knew everything. It was more to kind of just help people figure out what they want and what would be a worthwhile restaurant experience. This is nuts. It's kind of the same thing here. The hardest part for getting on YouTube is the social media aspect of it. Getting videos seen. The community's been great though, so that's good. All right, I think we moved on. And this is the last dab, so got a little dab. We know there's a lot on there. There you go. Rank the Police Academy movies in order of decreasing quality. You almost don't even feel that after this. All right, Police Academy movies. The number one has to be the first movie. That movie is just a masterpiece. My second favorite would probably be, I have them listed here. I think that would have to be Citizens on Patrol, which is 4. That one they introduced, David Spade was in that one. It was kind of a fun movie. The conflict in that was every police academy had a very different ending scene. That was the one where they were in hot air balloons with Sharon Stone. Completely off the wall movie if you think about it. Then I would say I probably like number 3, Back in Training. That's the one where they introduced Bobcat Goldthwait as a police officer. He was in the second movie as the villain, along with Sweet Chuck. They were both in that movie, in the second movie. Okay, so the third one is next. I like Miami Beach, so I'll put 5 next. That's the one where at the end of the movie, the conflict was, you know, on those water scooters. After that would probably have to be number 2, The First Assignment. That was the one where they were paired up and they ended up having the conflict at the zoo where Bobcat Goldthwait had a cult or club, whatever it was, gang. Then City Under Siege. That's the one where the mayor was crooked, and at the end the mayor unmasked himself like a Scooby-Doo villain. And then the last has to be Mission to Moscow. So let me see if I remember. It was Police Academy 4, Police Academy 3, 5, 2, 6, 7. So that's the order. Thanks for sticking around and watching. I'm still feeling the effects from this. I never want to have that again. If you like this video and have any ideas for future episodes, leave a comment down below. Make sure you like this video. It'll let me know that you like this content and that, you know, maybe you want to see me do it again. Also, comment below with some ideas for future stuff. Make sure you're subscribed so that you know when new videos are posted, and so that you know if we ever go live or anything like that, we'll be the first to know. Maybe we'll do this again sometime. I will definitely be leaving this one out. Have an awesome day.